In this video, we'll talk through how to approach Edexcel English Language Paper 2, Question 7a. To do that, we'll look at a couple of student responses to a set question, so remember you can pause the video at any point if you need time to read through what's on screen. Paper 2, Question 7a examines a unique element of Assessment Objective 1, your ability to select and synthesize evidence from different texts. This is the first of the questions that ask you to deal with both texts, but it's also one of the most straightforward to answer. So we're going to have a look at two full student responses now. The question they were asked was, the two texts show events in dangerous places. What similarities do the places share in these texts? So let's start with student A. Press pause now to give yourself time to read their response, and press play again when you're ready. This is a whole response for question 7a. Look at how long it is. You should be able to answer this type of question fairly quickly. For all 3 points, just the comparison and quotes are included. Because this is an AO1 question, you don't need to analyse the effects of the language or anything like that. Also, look at how the student signposts which texts the quotations are from. This helps the examiner to see that both texts have been treated equally. Student A's response meets the criteria for level 2, which is 3 or 4 marks out of 6. They do stay focused on the question, do offer 3 valid similarities, and do use relevant quotations to support their ideas. However, only the last paragraph actually pinpoints the reason for the similarity explicitly, helping to move the answer up to the middle level. The other 2 keep this quite vague and generalised, making it more difficult to prove to the examiner that the texts have been fully understood. This means that the answer doesn't show the deep level of synthesis and understanding required for those top marks. For the first point, adding in a phrase such as, both places are shown to be dangerous because there is a lot of gun violence, would have meant the answer was more clear and specific than just saying that they're both dangerous. Let's look at student B's response now. This would be in the top level. Press pause now to give yourself time to read it carefully, and press play again when you're ready. Okay, so again, this response offers 3 similarities, which are focused on the question and supported by relevant quotations. However, in this response, the 3 points are much more specific and show a deeper understanding of the 2 texts. For example, by recognising that both texts discuss how government forces make the places dangerous, student B is showing a greater level of understanding or synthesis of the 2 texts. This is a much harder, more nuanced point to get from the text, which is why it is worth more marks. The student has had to use some inference to draw together the similarities, and this is another way you can show the examiner that you've fully read and understood the 2 texts. Let's leave it there. Hopefully you can see the difference between the 2 responses. To recap our tips for success on this question, you don't need to write a lot and you don't need to analyse. Just give 3 similarities, backed up with quotes from the text. And try to be specific with the similarities you write about. Avoid vague generalisations. It's a great idea to get some practice in before the exam, so why not try some past papers and see how you do with this type of question? You could do this using our example paper attached to the pod. Good luck.